Yo guys, Theo here on Common Sense. A little unusual video today. For one, I'm wearing a shirt, but we're gonna be talking about the state of the world in 2023 and how much it sucks. I guess I've talked a bit about topics like this on live streams in the past when you guys have asked me questions. But today, I'm probably gonna talk about some things that don't really apply to me. I'm probably also going to take some personal examples, but the point is neither to be, playing the victim like, oh, things are so tough and difficult for me because of these things, or to blackpill you in general, like, oh, the world is just terrible, there's no way out. It's just everything is coming from love. Things I've been thinking and feeling lately that I think a lot of people can relate to, but it's just a discussion or conversation that isn't going on as much as it should, especially not in the mainstream. So here we go. Do you know, by the way, Uncommon Sense, I actually came up with that name before creating this channel. I was just too afraid of creating a channel back then. But my idea was to give my, opinions, views, reasonings and takes on things in the world and society. And then my life just happened to go the way it did. Hit rock bottom with those panic attacks, and the physical health journey was a big, entry point for me into all this. So that lens, or, I don't know if lens, but I've talked from that perspective a lot. Now, of course, it all goes together. So anyway, the world in 2023. It's just so fake and toxic, like on the surface. It looks like, oh, things are better than ever. Just look at all the technology. You wouldn't be able to make this video if it wasn't for that. But I feel like it's kind of like some dumb woman, that has been partying and smoking and drinking and doing drugs and all that unhealthy crap, but she's done a lot of plastic surgery. So in the distance, she might look good. Then you come up close, you see that this is fake. And if you get to know the inside, it's like, oh, it's just full of shit. That's a lot what I feel about the world today. Like, yeah, everything is so fake and toxic. Like everything they're telling us in the newspapers, the media, when you unplug, you just see it all the time. Okay, this is the thing I'm supposed to be afraid about now. Oh, this is what I'm allowed to think. Oh, this is what I'm supposed to believe. That so-called pandemic, if you were already unplugged, you just knew that it was all fake. And we don't even have to discuss on what level it was fake. That's part of the, deception. Like, but don't you see these numbers? Don't you see this? Blah, blah, blah. The point is just that whatever they're presenting, whatever they're telling us, and how bad they're telling us something is, it's just never true. And then it just comes the next thing, And, men are toxic. You're not supposed to be manly. That's toxic. You're supposed to be more like women. And women, you're supposed to be, not nurturing and caring and empathetic. You go, girl. Be girl boss. You can be like a man. But at the same time, men can literally be women, and women can literally be men. And you know what? Those things probably don't exist. They're social constructs. You can be whatever, And then take all the food, all the freaking fake food, like all the hyper-processed junk food that we're all used to. Like all of us were brought up with this crap. And also things that are presented as healthy. They're also filled with crap. If not just dumb additives, pesticides, all this. Everything in our environment is toxic. The air, pollution, the water, a bunch of shit in there. The food, we went through it. All the beauty products, all the hygiene products that we supposedly, you're weird if you don't do these things. They're also, most of them, filled with toxic junk, And, speaking about technology, and that I've said it before on the channel, that technology and development is great. We're here to, elevate both our consciousness, but just ourselves as a species, right, on the planet. And we need to innovate, develop stuff. But it's supposed to be an addition to what we human beings are, where we're supposed to be, right? Not a replacement. But so many things, the technology is just out of hand. And that's why I think a lot of people are depressed and they lack meaning and they feel lonely. And lonely, it can be both, we get isolated. And I mean that both literally, like, the lives we live. Most people live there, go to work, sit there for 8 to 10 hours or something, probably hating it, Maybe I connect some with my colleagues and I go home, I'm tired, just watch Netflix, I order some bullshit. On the weekend, I might go out drinking. I might go on a vacation a couple of weeks per year. And it's like, people feel, I can tell you that, I moved here to Greece, a new country, so of course I'm by myself first, but when I'm vibing my highest in that, first of all, I never feel lonely when I'm by myself, because I'm in good company with me and the big guy, Source. And I will just naturally connect with people. But then, some things didn't go the way I expected in my life. It was some just personal hardship, and I felt pretty terrible for a while. Some insect. And so, yeah, then I was quite, I made some connection here. I was quite literally like lonely like that. But I think people are lonely, have you ever felt that if you live in a big city, that you're surrounded by people everywhere, but you don't feel like this is a community. It's not people existing together. It's like people existing all next to each other, You're surrounded by people and yet you feel completely alone. And now, so many things, we're talking, you have to go back to the men and women thing. Us men, we want to be providers, we want to be builders, we want to be part of something bigger and feel that we contribute. Someone might be at the top, the leader, and that's the way they contribute. Of course, real leaders, they don't just sit and tell the other people what they do, that most leaders we have these days do. Just don't lead by example at all and just sit and tell us, moralize over what we should be doing and that. Yeah, but the other men in the tribe, they want to contribute, they want to build. We build this house together, we hunt this food together, la la la. This is what we want as men. But so many things we don't really have to do. We don't have to do this shit anymore. Like we're also told, like all this dumb gender thing, that, it's not that we are, we men, we are not told that we should work on ourselves and be hardworking and disciplined so that we can provide for, our family, our wife, or our community. We're not told that at all, really. Then you have women that naturally want to be caring, empathetic, a little bit more behind the scenes like that. Like I believe in traditional gender roles, but look, that's a quick side note, that with the more modern society, it doesn't have to be quite as polarized with these gender roles, but it's still, it's like our essence, If men want to be more hardworking and providing and, gaining meaning like that, women are the ones that take care about the stuff behind the scenes, take care of the family. If the man, just to make a simple example, if the man comes with the money, the woman might get the food and cook the food and take care of the family like this, But we're told that these things are like toxic and like old, that is doesn't apply anymore. But also, we are getting more and more replaced. I don't know what you think about all of this AI stuff and that, but I don't think it's like cool at all or anything. And I'm not meaning even from a perspective that it's going to go like Matrix or Terminator on us. I have no idea about that. But it's not even that. I mean, I don't want computers to be doing everything for us. It's like, technology, it's supposed to make stuff easier for, that's what I mean with addition, improve and make things easier for us. But now it's like, no, let's just replace everything that humans do with robots and machines, computers. It's like, and what are we left to do? It's like by building communities together and having these functions that we fill, and we improve, we live side by side, build our lives and improve our lives. We're there together. Now it's just like, I don't know, we're serving something else, We're not serving each other as much at all. We're serving these, governments and big corporations. And I understand that to some degree, in history these cycles have happened, but it's just so more extreme now, with it, like technocracy or whatever you want to call it, with all the technology involved. And I just feel like, as humans, it's so interesting today that this, I know I've said on the channel before too, but it's like our struggle now is that we don't have enough struggles. So we sit with all these, abstract, I'm depressed, I have anxiety, I don't know, I'm lonely, blah, blah, blah. You sit there because your surviving is just for free for most people in the West, Even if you're doing really poorly, most likely you don't have to worry about the roof over your head, food on the table, you know, the basic survival needs. I understand there are homeless people and that too, but you know, most people don't have to worry about this at all. It's all taken care of. Most people will have access to cheap dopamine too, you know, via the phone, via the computer, Netflix, screens mostly, but junk food. I mean, drugs too. So many things. So we sit here, we survive for free, we get pleasure, like motivation. It's not that we get motivated to actually do meaningful stuff. We just get motivated to do the thing that makes us feel good, that comes for free. And what a kind of a life is this, you know? And that's something before those panic attacks started to me. Insects everywhere. Before those panic attacks started, I remember I was thinking that. I realized this on some level, you know, and I was like, but I feel like I don't know what I want. I don't know how to change this, because everything, even though I feel terrible, everything is so fucking comfortable. It's so easy. Like I found myself wishing not to live in like a war necessarily, but just under harsher conditions. Some fucking fire under my ass to move, to do something. But now instead I'm just like, oh, I'm feeling bad. Oh, let's cope with it with drinking and smoking weed and watching porn, being on Tinder, hooking up with a girl every once in a while, playing video games, never doing shit, you know. But then the panic attacks happened. And you know, while it was the most difficult thing I went through, at the same time, it was the most meaningful time in my life, because I knew my life is actually threatened here. I'm not just sitting with all my anxiety, existential dread and numbing myself. I'm actually feeling so terrible that there's nothing I can do about it other than go straight towards it and face it so I can overcome it. So while it was the most difficult thing I went through in my life, it was also like one of the coolest, most meaningful in that sense, you know. And this is kind of what I come to now. Like I said, I personally had some challenges earlier this life, well, that too, but this year, that made things difficult for me. That would make, you know, relationship stuff, blah, 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 you know, that would be difficult for anyone. So now, that's behind me. I'm not vibing high yet. And I must say, I'm in somewhere, I'm doing fine, guys. But what I want to come to is, because what I, you know, embrace or preach or tell people to do in this kind of world is like, yeah, you know, if the struggle for like the caveman, like a completely wild human being, is actually surviving, I have to fight, I have to find shelter, I have to, you know, hide from a harsh climate, I have to hunt and catch prey or else I die, you know. Our challenge today is kind of the opposite. Since surviving is not the struggle for most people at all, it's like we have to self-impose this struggle to find some meaning, you know. It's rather like, you know, being disciplined, staying away from vices and junk food and losing weight and building muscle, getting more physically fit, challenging yourself in other ways, like learning skills, or just, you know, challenging yourself since you can just be inside with AC, you know, and be chill and feel good. You challenge yourself by actually doing the cold plunge or going in the sauna for a long time, you know. But I gotta say, you know, sometimes, I mean, it's still important. I know it's foundation. I know that I keep doing these things, even during this sort of like, I'm feeling pretty good, but period, you know. I know it's for the greater good, but I know there will come times when I vibe higher and I get more direct enjoyment out of these things. But I gotta say, when you reach a certain level with these things, it's like not enough. It's not just this, you know. The community aspect, like I talked about, we're so disconnected, we're so lonely, you know. I feel like that there's some agenda from whoever it is to keep us, especially men, as islands, not connected to each other at all. But humans in general, so we're just good little, you know, workers and buyers, consumers, you know. And even when you do the best of the situation, you know, like I can really enjoy when I'm vibing the most. Now I'm getting going, so I think it's kind of cool that I can reach out with this message to just whoever wants to see it on the internet. So there is that balance I talk about, that sometimes when you're just in the world, not of it, you know, you can both. It's supposed to be like a mix of, you know, not forgetting where we come from, what we are, the natural side, and then the innovative, the additions, the more, you know, the human animal and the human being, in a sense, you know. Uh, you know, sometimes you can enjoy that, but sometimes I feel like, you know, there needs to be more. There's something more. You can accomplish a lot, and especially when it's new to you, all this fitness and health stuff, because you're gonna see, you know, just in the way you feel, and that physiologically it's gonna improve, but also you're gonna get this sense of actually overcoming struggle, and that I feel like, you know, we just get in very specific ways. It's basically study and do your dumb job. That's the struggles most people have. Or, you know, just these, I don't want to minimize people's problems or something, but all these, I'm getting an apartment, loans, a job, buy a computer, study, write a bunch of shit on a page. You know, that's the struggle we get, and it's not really what we're made for only, at least. You know, of course we have that intellect and that. And I think I've run out of the things I want to say in this video, really, but, you know, guys, what do we do about this, really? Like, we have to work on us, absolutely, but there has to be some kind of, you know, I see it a lot. The world is very polarized right now. See, both these extreme things that I see are very dystopian. Like, a lot of things that seemed like the way distant future sci-fi when I was a kid, it's just taken for granted right now, and it's not slowing down, and I am not enjoying it. And I think a lot of people are not enjoying it, but a lot of people are stuck in this, like, oh, the best we ever had, oh, cool, I live in this cool modern society, I don't know. But on the other hand, there's a lot of people waking up. I feel like I hear in many different, content I consume, many different kinds of people talking about an awakening. I feel like even though I said at the start of the video, these kinds of conversations, the discussions don't happen enough, but I feel like a lot of people are thinking about it, because when I bring it up with people I meet, like, a lot of people agree and relate, you know. So it's kind of crazy times. It's so polarized, you know, where some people are falling more asleep than ever, or more slaves and stuck than ever, and some people are waking up more than ever. And I'm kind of like, what do we do? Do you know what I feel like doing? Like, I'm so sick and tired of just the system. You know, even money. You know, I've never been driven by just making money like that. I've never been greedy like that. To me, I hate that I have to think about money. They're like the things I've learned. I wish, because this is how it would be. If you lived in like a smaller tribe of 200 people or something, yeah, there would be a hierarchy and you would be trading things and services, but it wouldn't be this fucking numbers thing. The collective good is the most important thing. And now I hate that I have to even think about that. Like, someone needs my help and I'm like, yeah, I have to turn them down if they can't pay. You know, I do as much, you know, with the YouTube stuff, and you do as much as you can for free, but you have to think about these things. I just hate it. You have to be egotistical, and of course there's always a balance about taking care of yourself so that you're the best you, so you can take care of others. But we're kind of pushed to be egotistical and narcissistic. Also with the social media. You know, I'm just ranting about a bunch of things I'm thinking about, and still so many things I haven't mentioned. And social media is a great example of something that can be a great addition to us, but now it's surprising how many are not addicted to their freaking phones, you know. Like, both the social media, but the actual phone, just being stimulated by it like that. Yeah, I'm kind of, do you know what I feel like doing a lot? Like, I'll be leaving for Sweden. I mean, I'll probably come back to Greece. We'll see exactly how things work out. But something I feel like doing back in Sweden, I just want to reach out to people. Like, can we just, some kind of message, can we just get together? Can we just do things? Can we just not only talk about freaking, my job, my apartment, oh, look at these plates I bought. You heard about those? Yeah, they are moving to all the fucking bullshit. I'm so tired of it. Can we do real stuff? Yeah, guys. Now, I guess to conclude this, it's like, keep doing you, you know, don't follow the herd of sheep. You know, so many are heading in the wrong direction right now. Like I say, everything in the world is here to, you know, many people try to compete for your attention, deceive you, make you do certain things, make you feel like you're doing wrong if you're not doing them. But if you had that, you know, doesn't matter if everyone around you is doing the thing. If it's wrong, you know. So go on your path, reject degeneracy, reject vices, reject toxic relationships, you know, like this is about being lonely. You can feel less lonely if you're just you than if you're surrounded by the wrong people that don't have the same values and morals and just ideas about life as you. So keep working on you. But guys, the next step is really we have to form community somehow. Like, please let me know if you have any ideas. What can I do? You know, I'd love to make the people following all of this like more involved with together, not just like you guys watching me and commenting with me and maybe some of you becoming my clients. I'd love to make it a bigger thing. I'm thinking so much about all of this now, guys, because I love to bring the fitness and health stuff and the mindset stuff like that, but at a certain point we were talking about mental health, psychology and well-being. This all matters too, you know. Please let me know what you think about a video like this. I mean, I can do, this is some sort of like it's almost like I'm just trying it out. Had no specific one thing I wanted to talk about, just ranting about it. But because you could go into details, you know, one thing at a time, even just events in the world. You know, I could report on things, comment on things. Please let me know what you think about stuff like this. And if you know, share your thoughts about anything that came to mind. I'm very interested to hear. Because, yeah, guys, it's just, the world is so sucky. It's like, what am I trying to, it's almost like, you know how we talk about NPCs, it's a meme too, you know. So for you who don't know, in a video game, NPC is a non-playable character. They have to follow their script while the person playing their script, yeah, they have to follow the rules of the game, but they make own decisions and like that. But I almost feel like most of us, it's like we're NPCs, or like even when we're not NPCs, that's like the life that's presented to you. Yeah, you're supposed to go to school, and then you do this. You get a degree, you get a job, and these are the opinions you're supposed to have. These are the things you're gonna find interesting. These are the things you're gonna talk to. Such bullshit, you know. I'm tired of it. Yeah. I guess I think I stay on the camera because I know there's much more I'd say, but I think as an introduction to this kind of video, this will have to do it. Now let's see, you know, like and comment, all that, subscribe for more content. A fitness, fashion, building muscle, all that, but this kind of stuff too. I just want the video to be 22. Peace.